Shalom, everybody. I want to wish you Chag Sameach, Good Yantiv. We're about to start the festival of Shavuot and then Shabbat Shalom, which comes on the second day of the festival. Today marks an interesting day in the history of the United States. This was the first day, well over 200 years ago, that the framers of the Constitution got together in order to create that document that would both define the freedoms of the citizens of this great nation, and I think in the process of defining their freedoms, there was a desire also to limit the power of the government. A very important notion in American democracy and in all democracies. It's also the beginning of Shavuot, the beginning of that holiday where we recall the giving of the Torah. It's also a document of historical proportions, obviously, and sort of a constitution for the Jewish people. And in many ways, we can say that it both defines the way a good life is lived, but it also defines the limitations of human power. It's part of our whole understanding of the beginning of our relationship with God and the meaning of God in our tradition. That is, no sovereign, no person can have ultimate rule, ultimate power over all others. A word about Torah that I would like to share with you. It's taken from a Mishnah, and the Mishnah is found in the early part of the Sidurim that we use on a daily basis in the chapel. It talks about the things that exist without any measure, without any limitation. And what are those things? Those things are peah, the corners of our field which are left unharvested so that the poor would have what to eat. It talks about gifts to the temple. The gifts to the temple didn't have limitation. It also talks about gemilut chasadim, and that is acts of kindness. Also, there should be no limitation on your kindness. You should give kindness freely. And finally, it says, Talmud Torah, the study of Torah. No limitations on that also, which could mean one of two things. One being that you just can study Torah as much as you want. But it also could have to do with the notion that you can bring any idea and any question to the study of Torah. This Shavuot comes shortly after the last classes that I taught in the year 5783 in the Mountain program and many of our adult education programs. And what I want to tell you about that study is that there was never enough time. There was always more to talk about. There were always more questions to be asked and more answers to be given and more ideas to share. And perhaps most importantly, it was in the study of Torah in the broadest sense that we create a community, relationships between each other, and the essential nature of a religious community. In another place in the Talmud, it talks about the things that we're obligated to do, essential things to make a society work. And after it lists those things, it says, Aval Talmud Torah keneged kulam, the study of Torah is worth all of them. It's that important because the study of Torah should bring us to gemilut chasadim, to acts of kindness. It should bring us to generosity. It should create respectful people out of us and a wonderful community. I wish you Chag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom. Look forward to seeing you, and our study will continue shortly after Shavuot.